came to your house today. Oh wait, I'm not at your house. I'm at my house.
Basement. We're in the basement.
We're in the basement.
The basement.
Your grass looked like shit.
I know. I tried to cut it.
Like your grass is sod. This sod, and he's killing the hell out of it.
Dude, when I bought this house, like the last thing I was worried about was the damn grass.
Well, you don't have a green
There were two things I was worried about. The two things I was worried about, it was fiber internet and a finished basement. And when I told my realtor, I was like, this is what I want when I bought a house. Those are the two. I didn't get grass.
This is what you get when you don't grow up poor.
I hate that grass. I've said so many times I want to get that grass, but then I realized how much the previous owner paid for that grass.
Why don't you just have Why don't you have a Mike come over and take care of it?
I could do that. I could get Mike Smith with Edible Earth.
Edible
Management.
Earth? Yeah, Edible Earth. He's a good friend of mine. Mike Smith is good.
Yeah. Oh, and he's done good work. He's done good work.
He's very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff. Yeah,
he
knows
actually
his
told
stuff.
me how to do the grass. I just didn't have the time to do
No, but the guy, okay, so what? You don't know about grass. You know about, growing. You don't have a green thumb per se. But this guy knows technology. He's got a great mind for creativity. That's why we get along so well.
I love creativity.
I
always say 47. I don't know why I picked that number, but I get 47 ideas a day.
No. I think it's more than that. You remember conversations we've had, and you've had like 50, and I'm like, look, dude, let's take like 3 of those and put into it.
That's the hardest part.
For you, it is, but that's where I come in and go, nope, we're going to wrangle this
Exactly.
and we're going to do this many, and we're going to take the time to take this in.
Perfect. Yeah, that's why we work great as a team.
We completely.
I don't know how it works. Somebody told me this. They put it in perspective a while back. They said, you're the type of guy that comes up with 1,000 ideas, but you don't know how to implement them. That's why I like having Tony, because he is the implementer. He's the one that says, like you said, let's take 3 of those ideas.
Yeah.
So
and then we'll run with those.
44 of them goes into the shelf. 3 of them.
No. Yeah, you have a million ideas. I have a ton of ideas, but I know that I can only deal with some of those. And
I had this idea. I just got to say this because this is going to blow your mind. I had this idea, my latest idea the other day. I'm a martial artist. I teach martial arts. I run a martial arts business.
That's
and
really.
I'm in the point.
You're telling them so less about yourself. It's like, I'm a martial artist. You've been doing this since you were a kid. You are a 5 degree.
5th degree.
I'm sorry. Did I say 5? I was a 5th degree.
You said 5 degree.
5, 5th. What does it matter? 5, 5th degree. Listen. You've been trained in how to fight. I just like to fight. That you either have been trained and you can handle it, or you just like it. That's the 2 people that are the greatest fighters. Mm-hmm. People that like it or are trained to do it. I'm not trained a whole lot. I've got some training. I just like it.
I love to fight. I love to fight because, and I love how people trash talk on the internet. I'm saying this with 100% integrity. I love to fight, and it's not because I'm a tough guy. It's not because I'm a tough guy. It's not that I'm a tough guy.
Oh man, we're out.
It's got an ego. I don't know what it is about getting hit. Maybe I'm a masochist. Maybe I'm a masochist or something. But like, I just love getting hit, and I just.
It's
don't
a
know
weird thing.
Maybe that's why I'm in wrestling.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
it's. You like both. You like. Mm-hmm. You like putting the pain to somebody, and you like taking the pain. Is that weird?
Isn't there a word for that? Isn't there like S&M and stuff? But I don't want this podcast to be X-rated, so we're gonna go ahead and get off of that subject real quick.
So let's switch gears for a minute here.
Well, okay.
We talked about the culture the
I like to call it cancer culture.
Cancer.
Right? Instead of cancel culture, it's cancer culture.
You know what else I like?
What's
Ninja
that?
Turtles.
Well, I was going to say that real quick. Okay, so let's transition into that. What got me, because I'm a martial artist, I've been doing it for almost 30 years now. What got me into martial arts? You ready for this? What got me into martial arts? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage. Okay. That's what got me into it, because I remember 1990. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movie came out. What got me was the scene, Raphael facing like 1,000 of the Foot Clan soldiers on the rooftop.
Foot Clan.
Where they beat Raphael, they beat the crap out of him. But it was, I don't know what it is, it's going to sound weird. He kept doing the spinning kick. You go back and watch the movie, spin kick, spin kick, spin kick, spin kick. and I went out to my yard when I was living in my childhood home. I go out there and do spinning kicks. It's the only kick I ever did.
Wait, well, okay. So childhood home. So was that on Warner? And then your mom lived over on Harris Street.
Something like that, right? J. Warren
yeah,
Road
J. Warren.
is my childhood home. West Rush Stevens is my mom's home.
West Russ
It
Stevens.
was J. Warren Road. I go out there, I had a trampoline, and I used to get on the trampoline, bounce and do spinning kicks, because on trampoline you could bounce up and get that vertical and stuff. And then Dad got me into martial arts. That's not the only reason. Of course, my temper. I got into fights at school. Sorry, I got into fights at school, and because like I said, I like to fight.
The hell with those bullies.
Yeah, bullies, and got me into martial arts, and then realized there was a big world out there. Martial arts. 30 years later, I'm teaching it. So. But yeah, Ninja Turtles. I mean, Ninja Turtles is one of those franchises that's never going to die. It's like Star Wars. Star Wars, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, whatever you want to call it. These franchises will outlive us.
Yeah.
Mark my words, they will outlive us.
They're the Led Zeppelin of
they will
the
outlive
nerdy,
us. How many times has Ninja Turtles been rebooted?
I couldn't even tell you.
6 or 7 times.
And not
now?
in a good reboot. I mean, some and some not. Now, we were there from the beginning. Mm-hmm. For the most part. I mean, and what's funny is that Ninja Turtles was started out as a joke. It wasn't even a serious thing.
Yeah.
When the two creators came up with it, it was a damn joke.
What, Peter Laird, Kevin Eastman?
Yeah.
Just gotta give credit, right?
Yeah, and it was a joke. And it was a black and white started out comic, was it not?
Like they released recently, or not recently, but they released like that first image that one of the creators drew, and it was one of those it was those concept designs. But yeah, it was kind of a joke at first, and they released, and it was very, I don't know, I grew up, the first thing I had with the Ninja Turtles was obviously the 89 or 90 cartoon, where it was
89.
very kid friendly. 89, it was very kid friendly, man. Sidebar, 89 was a great year. Sorry, okay, and we'll get into that later. But
another episode.
84 and 89 were like the best years of the 80s. I don't know. I'm throwing that out there.
Far as like cartoons and toys, 80s were they rocked.
Oh God, yeah.
It was like toys, cartoons, and cocaine. That was in music. Because it was a totally different. I mean, not disco.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
It's like cocaine. No, but as far as like toys and that kind of creative thing, it was awesome during the 80s. I'm glad I got to live during the 80s, because I remember as a kid, sitting there, I had, I was a really small kid. I remember having Star Wars, Transformers.
Transformers. Yep.
G.I. Joe,
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Damn it. What was the other one? Tigers. Not Tigers.
Thundercats.
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 Yes. Thundercats. Yes. I had all that. I had all that. Now, of course, I didn't live in a nice home or anything, but I grew up as a small kid with a lot of cool things in the 80s, and having that stuff was cool. Like, you get into the 90s, toys are still pretty cool, because you got into Marvel then at that point. Early 90s, they were coming out with the Marvel figures and stuff like that, and then out of that, it just got really crappy. I don't know what happened. It wasn't as cool.
It was like, like you said, the 80s, you had Transformers, G.I. Joe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then what do you think of the 90s? It went, Power Rangers? Power Rangers, and like you said, what was the other thing you said for the 90s? Well, you had Thundercats, but like you said, I mean, I think
that was
80s,
I think 90s Power Rangers was probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, well, 80s will always be remembered as the golden era of action figures and stuff, not dolls.
No, action figures.
But then I think, because I still remember the Power Rangers, like, and this is going to transition into what what we're going to talk about, is when the Power Rangers figures first came out, they were pretty rare, and it was my first memory of around Christmas time, where people started buying stuff and then turning around and selling it for triple the price, aka
Crazy.
scalpers.
AKA eBay started.
Yeah, and I think that's when eBay kind of.
Which I'm guilty. I still buy stuff on eBay if it's the right price.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but other than
It's
know
value.
that,
It's
I don't.
value. If you see value, and everybody sees value in different value and stuff, but
there's a lot of people take that and go, I know that guy sees it in value because he wants it for his collection, so I'm gonna jack it up 50%. You guy.
Yeah.
You guy that jacks 50 or 75%, suck my.
Yeah, exactly. I remember the Power Rangers.
You got to beep a lot of this out.
My cousin, it's fine. My cousin, really, she was younger at the time. She really wanted all the Power Rangers action figures, and it was the,
Who was
the
that?
big Jenna.
Okay.
And she wanted them, and you couldn't find them anywhere. And I think her mom, my aunt, finally had to pay like triple the price to get the 5 action figures. And I think that was my first time understanding what scalping was and what these people, these dumbass that love to buy stuff, buy out all the inventory, and then sell it for triple, maybe even quadruple the price of things. And I mean that shit's gotten really worse nowadays, as far as I mean, think about this, okay? So, you've got the PS5 right here. You got the I got my nice PS5 right here, but we live in 2021.
Oh my god.
Back in 2020,
man.
the PS5 and the Xbox Series X was released. And of course, we live in that pandemic era, and you've got and Sony and Microsoft made the decision to say, all right, we're going to sell the PS5, the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X. We're going to sell it online only. So they were released in November 2020, and of course all the scalpers and they had bots and stuff set up. They bought all the inventory, and then they were selling. I think the Xbox and the PlayStation were sold for $500 retail. That was manufactured price. Selling for $1,100 plus. I think $1,100, $800, $1,500, some even more. And it just really pissed me off because I'm wondering if is that where we're going in the world is new things. And it's not just game consoles. You've got graphics cards, you've got toys, you've got you've got figures, you've got this amiibo right here, amiibos, which is the Nintendo NFC type figures that you can help play the games and stuff. I had an amiibo addiction like a couple years ago. I bought every
What do you
amiibo.
mean an addiction? You still have a damn addiction
I still
for those
have
things.
it. I keep collecting the
I mean, I'm not
Smash Brothers
judging
series.
you. I get it. It's craziness.
It is craziness.
And people that understand collecting will understand that. Yeah, okay, so and we're talking about the turtles. I know we're going crazy everywhere. Okay, well,
Yeah.
we've already warned you guys about how crazy we go with this. So we had, me and my brother Aaron. You know Aaron.
Yeah.
We had all the Ninja Turtles, like the the late 80s, 90s. We had the original freaking Turtles. And I remember us being in our room at my dad's, and we'd have we had the sewer.
Oh,
we had the thing that shut the pizzas out.
Uh-huh.
We had that. And we had like all the 90s X-Men, which didn't bend like they do now. They would turn here.
Well,
They were not full
articulation.
Yeah, they
All
were not.
points of articulation.
They were not. And we'd have those and a bunch of. We'd have our whole room like trashed because we have like over here was this bad guy, and use your imagination as a kid. And that's a problem now. A lot of kids don't use their imagination, which I try to raise my kids that way. I want them to sit there and play with stuff because having imagination makes you be creative and think outside the box. So with Aaron, my youngest brother, his first kid, Gabriel, we still have all the original Turtles. He does. And he got to play with those. And it's just kind of cool that, it got passed down to a second generation of playing with the same Turtles we did. And Turtles was a pretty big damn deal for us in the late 80s and early middle 90s. Mm-hmm. Big deal. And they kind of, went off and I think Turtles went kind of more Japanese animation.
I think they went the anime
a little
route,
bit,
yeah.
And because that was in the middle, late 90s, it got really kind of big, the Japanese animation around there.
Yeah.
And I was like, even cartoons went that way, and I was like, I'm not opposed or hate Japanese animation. I'm just like, it's a new thing. Let's change everything that we love to that. Why? Take something they have and change to it, not what. But I know we Transformers came from Japanese animation. And, so there was a lot of stuff that we took as Americans from the Japanese and made our own, which if you ever go back and watch stuff, we kind of made it cooler.
Well,
we made it cooler.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Power Rangers came from Japanese, right? Power Rangers, they, what Saban took like the footage from all the old Super Sentai and Americanized it and brought it into.
I'm not that big of a Power Ranger fan. You are a massive Power Ranger fan,
and here we
I
go.
am not. I am not. I remember watching the first episode and going, "What the hell is this shit?"
Okay, I have a different opinion about the first episode.
And you did, other than the Yellow Ranger, because she was hot and Asian. I was like, what? And the Pink Ranger as well. You can't. But other than that, the only thing I loved the Green Ranger and the White Ranger.
Yeah,
they were the coolest ones. They were the Bruce Lee of Power Rangers.
Well, I think Jason David Frank talks about now that he's the Wolverine of the Power Rangers.
He
universe.
made the Power Ranger.
He really did.
I'm sorry, but
he
he
didn't
did.
start there, But yeah, my first episode, I remember. God, I was 13 at the time, so I was actually not the demographic anymore. I was getting to the point I was a teenager. I was being teenager stuff, and I was getting out of the action figure stuff, and then all of a sudden Power Rangers came about, 93, and then it was like, I remember watching Saturday.
Think about how long that is.
I know, 93.
Wow.
I remember
and we still
watching,
look this good.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Ego,
arrogant. Yeah, and I think I don't know how many times I've been called arrogant nowadays.
Well.
Damn. But anyway, I remember one Saturday just watching, because it was syndicated. It was, on the Saturday morning cartoons. You had all the cartoons. You had, you had Turtles. You had, wrestling.
Spider-Man. That was after 12.
Wrestling.
12 o'clock was wrestling.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden this new show called Power Rangers came on, and it was like...
It was a massive thing back then.
Yeah, and I was like, it was the very first episode, and I still remember, I was watching, of course, keep in mind, I'm 13, okay? And then I was watching, and then all of a sudden I see the Pink Ranger, see Amy Jo Johnson, and I was like... I looked at the TV screen, and I thought to myself, because I was scared to say this, but I was like, she's got the shortest shorts on that I've ever seen. Seriously. And that's what kept... I'm sorry. I mean, I know that's... I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
But
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's like the Elvira for me.
Oh, God, Elvira.
It's
but yeah, I was like, I know anybody can attest this, well, guys at least, when you're 13, you watch it, and that's what kept me watching the entire episode. And, of course, as I watched it, I got into the lore, I got into the story, and, it went beyond that, but I'm not afraid to say that was what initially hooked me and got me into watching it, because, I don't know, first crush, right?
It's weird. I
got to meet her like a couple years ago at in Tennessee, and
you know what he did? He took my money.
I still remember that. The Red Ranger, J. Austin St. John. We did a promo a while back, and I was like, 2 years ago, Atlanta, Georgia, Dragon Con. Bobby D went and stood in Austin St. John's autograph line. And you know what he did? He took my money. I went to Dragon Con. Dragon Con's in Georgia. Dragon Con. And I met the Red Ranger, and he took my money. And I was just like, yeah, he was kind of a butthole. Now, the Blue Ranger, Billy, what's his name? David Yost. Billy, I can't say enough good things about David Yost, man. And I know he had some drama on the set of Power Rangers, but I'm telling you, man, I can't say a bad thing about that guy. When I went up there, I paid to have the autograph and all that, and I got to meet him. He sat there and talked to me. And when you're famous, and if I ever was famous, I would do this. You got to take time with your fans.
Well, I felt like we did that when we were wrestling dudes.
Of course.
You're nothing. Let me be very clear about this. And I really feel like a lot of the older guys understand that you're nothing without the fans.
You're not.
You don't exist without people coming there.
You are canceled.
You're canceled unless people are buying your merch, coming to the shows because of you. Whatever, it doesn't matter if it's music, wrestling, movies. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're and it's because of the fans, and you really have to get back. And it sucks because a lot of people are like, well, I want to live my personal life. But if you're, in that spotlight, that's just part of it, and you have to, you really have to show that gratitude to the people that come out. They spend their hard-earned money. It doesn't matter if they're going to come watch your movie or buy your merch or come watch you wrestle or buy your toys. It doesn't matter what it is. They're spending their money that they're probably working minimum wage for to buy your stuff, because they think that much of you. So taking the time out and going, let me sign your autograph. Let me take that picture. Yeah, you want to live a normal life, but you chose to be something extraordinary. And so I love when I hear, stories about like The Rock or somebody that always takes the time to go, hey, yeah, let me do this thing. Even though it's annoying or it's like, I just want to live a personal life. You chose this life. You're not going to have there is no normal when you do this kind of thing.
Exactly.
And I love that over the 2 years that we wrestled, as far as the dudes anyway, that we have kids that would want to come take a picture with us, come to their birthday party, whatever it was. I wanted to do that because, I remember being a kid. I remember being a kid and going to Gainesville, Georgia to watch WCW at the Gainesville Mountain Center. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted. I just wanted to feel like that was, they were appreciative, and getting to meet these guys. So I remember that and going, I need to be the same way. I need to be humble. Remember where I came from. If it wasn't for the fans or the crowd, I wouldn't even be here. None of you guys would be here if it wasn't for them. And if you can't get your head out of your ass, then you don't deserve shit.
Exactly. I talked to a guy in the martial arts world. I go to Mississippi a lot because that's where my association is established as far as martial arts. And the one guy, it was kind of a joke, but he come up and talked about how he auditioned for the Red Ranger for Lightspeed Rescue season. And I remember that, he got beat out by the guy that ended up doing it, that ended up being on the Lightspeed Rescue as the Red Ranger. But I talked to him for a little bit, and he talked about how, being a Power Ranger, Ham Saban and Saban brands kind of own you. And he says that there's a lot of stuff in the contract that's like, you pretty much have to do certain things and you have to do this and that. And he opted, and the reason he didn't really get the part is he was very reluctant to be like, okay, this is what I am nowadays. Like if he was to become the Red Ranger in that season, that's what he would be known as. And the point I'm making is, you auditioned for it, right? And the people that ultimately made it to the show and made it to the, to the dance, that's
to the dance.
It's what you do, and I think the fans are probably the most important thing about any kind of entertainment. Without the fans, there is no Power Rangers, there is no pro wrestling, WWE, there is no Nintendo, there's none of that. But I think that's what you sign up for. But like you said these guys won't have personal lives. I get it. Don't get me wrong. Now, when I say this, I don't mean that you should sell your soul or anything, but I think that, it means so much as a little guy. And I know other guys that I've discussed this with, it means so much to them. Like if they go to conventions and or they see you at the airport, or they see you at Walmart, I don't know, whatever they see you, to take 10 seconds out of your time to acknowledge that person exists, and that person, you saying something positive to that person means the world to them.
Okay, for example, we were at Dragon Con a couple of years ago, which we talked about. Dragon Con. It's in Georgia. You're talking about like 70 to 100,000 strong. It's ridiculous. It's so much fun. If you haven't been, you need to go.
God, you remember when that porn star was there?
I do. So we wrestled one year in Dragon Con, 2-3 years ago.
I think it was about 3 years ago.
It was 3 years ago.
Pandemic hit. We were supposed to go again in 2020, but
pandemic.
Pandemic.
So we were there, and so was Xavier Woods. And if you don't know wrestling, Xavier Woods is part of the New Day. He wrestled here at home.
Real name is Austin Creed.
Yeah, great guy. He was there. The thing I can tell you, take advantage of everything you can. And if the person that has the platform understands that, they will help you. So we were at Dragon Con, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. And we were wrestling, and Xavier Woods was there because he's from this area. And the dudes did a promo with Xavier Woods. He had no problem with it at all. I mean, if anything, he helped push us within that promo. We took advantage of what situation we're in because you have to. He and the platform was like, he seen what we were doing and helped us out, and you have to. I feel like you should anyway. I guess you don't have to, but if you're any kind of human being, you would, because you want everybody to succeed as far as they want to go. Most people don't want to succeed past themselves. That's why they shit on you.
Yeah. Well, jealousy. It's always jealousy. And that's why, just recently, WrestleMania, him and Kofi faced AJ Styles and whoever AJ Styles' manager, that big tall guy that they got. But I'll watch any Xavier Woods match because of that.
Yeah, he took the time.
Supported us.
Yeah, he took the time.
By golly,
yes,
I
sir.
will support anything that he does. He has a YouTube channel, Up, Up, Down, Down. I support that.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, he took the time. Sometimes 10 seconds is what it takes.
He didn't seem like, it was cool. He didn't never seem like that he was better than anybody else. He came from the same place we're at. He knew where we're coming from.
Yeah, and we've wrestled at the same places he used to wrestle.
Anarchy.
He was on the local level.
I'll throw that. Anarchy has been a very big staple in northern Georgia wrestling,
and that's in Northeast Georgia.
It is, and it's. I'm not taking away from that. It has been a staple for far as wrestling. There's a lot of people. AJ Styles.
Yeah. AJ's from Gainesville, Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are from this area that, Southern wrestling, there's a lot of good wrestlers that come from the Southern area.
A lot.
It's like football. A lot of football comes from the Southern area. And to give back to the guys that you were at that time says a lot about your character.
Yeah. You're not going to be there forever. Nobody. I'm
going to drink this shot right here because you reported this mother.
But nothing is forever. I mean, these guys one day they're going to retire, and I mean really retire, not indie wrestling retire, but they're going to retire, and they got to look back on you. Got to look back on your legacy and go, did I do right by the people that got me to where I'm at? And I'm not talking about just the people that the higher ups and the executives and the agents and stuff. I'm talking about the fans too. Did you do right by all those people? And I know everybody's got different personalities. Everybody's got
different opinions.
And
you have that right. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
you have that right. If wrong or right.
Yeah,
we put too much emphasis on you're wrong, I'm right. Yeah, do you completely do you?
But me personally, and I know I probably won't be at the caliber of Xavier Woods or AJ Styles or Jason David Frank or Austin St. John, David Yoss, Eamon Joe Johnson. I can name drop all day long. But I want to be remembered. How far I get, I just want to be remembered as someone that somebody goes, man, he took the time. He took the time to ask me how I was doing, or took the time out of my day to make my day. And you never know what that means to a person.
It won't be about wrestling.
No.
I mean, okay.
Nobody's going to give a crap about what you do in the ring.
Yeah, no, but we've been friends for a long damn time. Okay? And it ain't about you're not going to be remembered by the wrestling. You're going to be remembered by the time you've took with the students you've trained over the last 29 years. 29 years now. I mean, and there's the thing. You've spent, since you were a kid, training to become a 5th degree.
Mm-hmm.
Black belt. And
Hapkido.
What the Hapkido, what do they call that?
Yeah.
What? No, I mean, what's the correct term in far as Hapkido?
Just Hapkido.
No, but isn't it like Dan?
Oh, fifth Dan master.
Okay.
Hapkido.
A 5th Dan. Okay, that's not something you can just go, it's a 5th Dan. You've spent, since I've known you, which you've done it prior to that. So since the mid-90s till now, you have trained as a Hapkido. You're a fifth Dan. You've trained how many? I mean, how many people would you say you've trained kids-wise in the last 20 years?
I would say probably a good 500 people have come in
500 people. That's nothing to sneeze at. But a lot of people doesn't respect that. It's like, it's not like this. You've come into it and just decided, well, I'm gonna start a Hapkido, business. You've earned the right to train people as a Hapkido instructor.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want that justification right now, not put the time in 29 years.
Especially nowadays.
29 years.
Yeah.
That's way more than college. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the majority of my life has been spent studying martial arts and studying Hapkido especially. And of course I've done other stuff and I still learn. I'm actually doing a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu right now because I really love wrestling. I really love the grappling aspect of martial arts and I want to learn it too. But I haven't stopped learning because I don't want my students to get to the point to where I have nothing left to teach them,
Complacent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
complacent.
you have to continue learning to teach them.
Yes.
And people doesn't see that.
It's instant gratification. I think we live in a world that everybody wants everything now, and if they don't get it now, they bitch and complain.
Well, I have to admit that I have that issue too because that's the world we live in. Mm-hmm. You go somewhere and you're like, okay, I'm at a fast food restaurant per se, especially right now. You're like, I want my they're closed. Nobody wants to work.
Well, why is that? I want my sushi on Sundays.
I want my Big Mac. What the?
Yeah.
And
no sushi on Sundays.
No sushi on Sundays. Anyway, it's craziness. Now I see as at our age, at almost 42, that our parents, looked at their generation and was like, what the hell's going on? Mm-hmm. And now we're going, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I don't give a damn. 80s and 90s were the best as far as toys. 80s were it. 90s
God, yeah.
Music.
Yes.
And I do both. I've been part of I love toys. I know that generation. I'm an experienced musician. I know that part, but they all translate into entertainment, and we both know that part.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man, the 80s. I'm a big 80s fan. I just love the 80s. I don't know, maybe it's the nostalgia talking. And, when you think of nostalgia, you always think of just the positive things. You don't think about any of the negative. I think that's the definition of nostalgia, is thinking about the things that made you happy. But, I just honestly think 80s was an era of action figures, gaming. You had the Nintendo.
I was huge gaming, man.
Nintendo lasted a good 6 years before the next iteration came out.
And it wasn't as in depth. When you gamed, you had fun. It was simple and fun. And that's what wrestling was at the time too. It was simple and fun. Now everything's because people don't want simple. It went hard. I'm like,
nobody was complaining. Like when Super Mario Bros. Came in, nobody was complaining, oh, it's stupid, it's simple, it's just a guy running across the screen and crap. Oh, Zelda is just stupid.
Who didn't like Super Mario 3?
Yeah.
It was fun as hell.
Man, and then I just don't really know what happened. I guess things evolved, but I just don't know what happened to today. Like, you didn't have anybody online on YouTube going, well, this game right here was stupid and sucked, and screw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game because it wasn't true to the cartoon, and it was just a simple error. And I know probably people, in 20 years that will be our age by then will look back on their era of the 2000s and the 2010s and go, well, that was a simple era too, and things get complicated. But
I have to say, as an experienced musician, the 2000s sucked as far as music.
Yeah,
it has sucked since then.
Because you don't really remember.
It has sucked since about mid
2000s
to now has been horrible, and that's my opinion. And that's okay. I mean, people want simple things. Again, they want to be told what to listen to. They want to be told what to watch. They want to be told what to eat. They want to be told what. They want to be told everything.
And I used to not believe that, but I honestly believe that now.
It is.
That
think
people,
for yourselves,
there's so
people.
Many followers. There's no leaders anymore. There's so many followers. Everybody's afraid to take a chance. Everybody's afraid to be a leader and go out there and try to do something new. We live in a world of remakes. We live in a world of reboots and remakes. and books and stuff that's already been done. I mean, and that's sad. That I mean, the way they say, like, nowadays movies, nothing's green lighted unless it's a book, a remake, or a reboot, and there's nothing original. And then people bitch about nothing original anymore.
Well, that being said, I think that we.
I think that's it. You know,
I think we take a shot and lead this thing out. What do you think?
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah?
man. So,
All right.
just to recap real quick, you know, because I like to drag things out a little bit further.
He does
You know,
like to drag things
cancel
out.
culture, like I said,
Hey, boom!
if you get offended by this, I'm sorry. But, you know, I think there's a positive spin to everything in the world. And I can sit there and argue with you all day long. I mean, the 80s and the 80s were great. The 90s were great. Nowadays,
There's aspects of this time that are great. I mean, you got to take and, you know, give and take, you know, but it just seems like there's not as much. So, as that being said,
maybe we're just getting old, man.
we are getting old. So we're going to take a shot to getting old.
Let's drink to being old.
Cheers,
right?
and then we're going to head out of here. Remember, guys, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, I don't give a damn. We're on there. If you don't like us, come on, like us. Other than that, we'll see you next time.
See you next time, buddy.